In this video, we're going to talk about the beautiful and iconic cherry blossom, also known as Sakura. There's famous flowers that just paint the landscape in these incredible shades of pink and white. Well, there's so much more to them than just their stunning looks. Okay, let's dive right in. So here's what we've got on tap. We're going to cover what these blossoms actually are, where you can find them, and even how you could care for your very own tree. Then we'll get into their deeper meaning, and wrap things up with 5 surprising facts you probably haven't heard before. Oh, right. First up, let's get to know the tree itself. When we see those amazing blooms, what are we really looking at? Okay, so these trees are deciduous, which just means they drop their leaves in the fall. They can grow up to about 13 meters tall, which is pretty big, and they have this really cool smooth chestnut brown bark with these obvious horizontal lines. Now, you probably think of them as just pink or white, right? But get this, there are over 100 different kinds, and some are even a yellow-green color. The most common one, especially in Japan, is called the Samyoshino, which makes up like 80% of the trees there. And here's a key thing to remember. These are ornamental trees. That means they're all about the looks, not about growing fruit. So, these trees have a really predictable yearly routine. It all kicks off in late winter when the buds start to form. And then, bam, spring hits, and that's the main event, right? That's when all those famous flowers just explode. After that, during the summer, it's all about business, growing those big green leaves and soaking up the sun. Come autumn, we get another gorgeous show when the leaves change to yellow, red, or crimson before they fall. And then in winter, the tree just takes a nap. It goes dormant, just resting up to do the whole thing all over again next year. And here's the crazy part. After all that waiting, the big show is incredibly short. We're talking just 1 to 2 weeks. That's it. After that, the petals start to fall like snow. And you know what? That's exactly why it's so special. It's this beautiful, fleeting moment that everyone wants to catch. Okay, so let's talk location. Where in the world can you actually find these amazing trees? Well, they originally come from Asia. We're talking Japan, China, Korea, and Vietnam. But as you can imagine, their popularity has totally exploded, and now they've spread all over the world. So, here's a fun question for you. Where do you think the cherry blossom capital of the world is? With their history, you'd totally think it's somewhere in Japan, right? Well, you might want to think again, because the answer is probably not what you expect. Believe it or not, it's Macon, Georgia, in the USA. No joke. They have over 350,000 Yoshino cherry trees. How wild is that? It really just goes to show you how much people everywhere love these things. Alright, so maybe all this talk has you thinking, hey, I'd love one of those in my yard. So, what does it actually take to grow one yourself? Oh, the good news is the basics are pretty simple. First, they need a ton of sun. We're talking at least 6 hours of direct sunlight every day. For soil, think moist but not soggy. They hate having wet feet, so good drainage if key. If you've got a young tree, make sure you're watering it about once a week. And here's the really important part. They need a proper winter. That cold, dormant period is absolutely crucial for them to get ready for that big spring bloom. But it's not always easy. They do have their enemies. Things like aphids and borers can really do a number on the leaves and trunk. And then you've got to watch out for diseases like black knot and powdery mildew. So yeah, you definitely have to keep a close eye on them to make sure they stay healthy and beautiful. But these flowers are so much more than just pretty. They have this really deep meaning, especially in Japanese culture, where they're a huge, huge deal. One of the biggest traditions is called hanami, which basically just means flower viewing. And it's exactly what it sounds like. For hundreds of years, people have gotten together with friends and family for picnics right under the blooming trees. It's this amazing way to celebrate spring, hang out in nature, and just be in the moment. And that super short lifespan of the flowers, that's the whole point. It's a massive symbol. On one hand, it's all about renewal and hope for the new season. But on the other, it's this beautiful, kind of sad reminder of how life is temporary. There's even a Japanese concept for it, mono no ware, which is this beautiful, kind of bittersweet feeling you get from knowing that beautiful things don't last forever. Okay, so they're beautiful, they're symbolic, but can you eat them? Do they ever show up on a dinner plate? And the answer is yes, they're totally edible. But, and this is a big but, you can't just pluck them off the tree and eat them. They have to be pickled or dried first. After that, they're used in all sorts of stuff, like teas, sweets, and even flavored salt. They have this light, floral, kind of fruity taste. As for the actual cherries from these trees, they're tiny and super tart, so people don't really eat them. Alright, let's wrap this up with something fun. Here are 5 surprising facts about cherry blossoms you can use to impress your friends. Fact number 1. You know all those iconic cherry trees in Washington, D.C.? Well, they weren't just planted to look nice. They were actually a gift from the mayor of Tokyo way back in 1912 as a symbol of friendship between Japan and the US. Number 2. Over in Amsterdam, there's a park with 400 cherry trees that were donated by the Japanese Women's Club. And here's the cool part: every single one of those trees has its own name. How amazing is that? Third thing, remember how we said they're ornamental? Well, many of the prettiest types have been bred so much for their flowers that they just don't produce fruit anymore. It's all about the blossoms. Number 4. In Japan, the bloom is such a big deal that it's tracked like a major weather event. Seriously, people follow a 6-stage blooming cycle to predict exactly when the peak bloom will happen all over the country. It's a science. And number 5, just to bring it all back home, the cherry blossom capital of the world isn't in Asia, it's Macon, Georgia. So that leaves us with one final thought. The whole cherry blossom season is this perfect annual reminder to just stop for a second and appreciate the beautiful moments in life, because they don't last forever. So let me ask you, what does their fleeting beauty make you want to appreciate a little more? Alright, that is it for this video, everyone. Thank you for watching. Please make sure you're subscribed to our YouTube channel, and I'll see you in the next video.